Welcome, everyone, to another adventure into trying to understand why it won't put on to my video. Robert, it looks like your video is overplaying mine. There we go. Let's see if it changes. Welcome, everyone, as Robert is smashing the keyboard with his finger, going, "What is going on?" As the summer gremlins have come to Zoom today. How is everybody doing out there? Robert, it's still putting up your image.
I'm getting you fine on my end.
Yeah, I only see your image. Here, let me cancel the spotlight. There we go. Let's see if that works out. No, just your image. There we go. Can I see? Now I see you. And you're muted.
How about the chat room? Can you guys see Andrew?
You see Andrea. I only see your image. That's your Galactic Historian Studio image. That's weird. Anyways, let's get started here. Weird shit happening today. So we are going to be open to calls. I see a whole bunch of people already got their hand up before I told them to put their hand up. All these 3 type A personalities already over there going, "We're ready. We want to be talking to right now." Well, you're all going to have to wait just a minute because we are going to be having a little quick conversation about how to come into the Zoom room. So if you are listening on Facebook Live right now and go, "I want to be a part of the chat. I want to be able to call in," there's information on the screen right there for your instant gratification needs. That's right. All you got to go is to zoom.us. And the meeting numbers 911-001-1974. And if you're on a phone and still want to call in, still want to be able to raise your hand, still want to be able to text with the chat room, all the information was there for you just right over there on the other side of the screen. So everyone, let's spin up that conversation power. Who actually wants to have a conversation today and actually talk to me about anything that is out there, any subject matters? I will ask, if you are a depressee that only wants to ask your purpose, to not raise your hand. But if you are a person that's joyful and full of life, to go ahead and click on that participants button and go raise your hand. There we go. We get all these people that are raising your hand. So I just had a long nap. Actually, earlier today, I totally forgot I had a radio show today. And I woke up about 4 o'clock and I'm scratching my head. What am I going to do next? And I'm like, shit, I got a radio show today. So I had to spin up my brain and get myself ready. So Robert, let's just jump right away into the callers and see who the wheel of non-depressies are.
Okay, this better not be depressing. C. Thrasher, you're unmuted.
I can barely hear you, Robert. Steve?
C. Thrasher.
Steve Thrasher, are there? C. Thrasher, are you there?
Microphone was on the
I am
floor.
indeed. How's it going?
Great. Where are you calling from?
So at the moment, I'm on the road to Omaha.
You're on the road to Noma. And what's your first name?
My name it's Chris or Christopher. Yeah.
Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing today? What do you want to talk about today?
What's my purpose? No, I'm kidding. So just in the way everything's going right now, everybody's a little heated, a little on edge. I find myself having some real difficulty with, say the mask situation, wearing mask. I mean, it's literally restricting my breathing and feeling like kind of a mole when I'm not doing it, for other people's purposes out and about. And I'm just curious, where do you see this going? Is this, are we going to be stuck in this kind of morass of nobody really knows what's happening and all of these, somewhat authoritarian actions that may or may not be doing anything to help the crisis? I'm just curious what you see on your end from not only the mundane, but also on the spiritual side of this as well.
So I have multiple points of view. So first thing first, I call COVID the gift that keeps on giving, if you allow it to give you the right gifts. And then there's the process of it limiting your life. Now, having to wear a mask, the restrictions that it creates, the image that it creates, that's going to go on and on and on because propaganda, TV, news, whether the virus is real or not, it doesn't make a difference. And those are the rules. People are going to continue to have things happen. And when you get out of the general mind fucking of what it is and say, I can live with this. This is no different than them saying, some new bullshit laws in place that I can't do this or this, in which I normally did. His normal life changed because of COVID? Yes, it has. Will it ever go back? More than likely it won't. That doesn't mean there won't be aspects of the old life. So how do we as modern spiritual people adapt? That's the big question. What will it take for you to adapt to these new rules? He's muted, Robert. Can you unmute him?
Ooh.
There we go. So, it's I've lived my life as very much a not necessarily a rule follower, more of a rule questioner. So, I admit it's frankly very difficult. And
it isn't. You're just making it difficult because you are resisting authority that's being spoken to you. And that's not a bad thing. It's just the situation that you're in.
It's fair. That's fair.
Okay. Again, that's not a bad thing. Trump's not wearing a mask. And no, even the president, as long as the president of the United States isn't wearing a mask, most people aren't going to do it. But they're starting to pass laws now that state it's a $200 ticket, $200 fine for not wearing a mask. How many mask tickets before you put a mask on?
Well,
how much is it worth? How much is your rebellion worth? $1,000 in tickets?
Well, I guess to me, it's almost symbolic of the fact that we've got a lot of people that just seem to, whatever comes down the pipeline, everybody's just going to roll over and take it.
Sure, and, that's propaganda. That's propaganda news imprinting on our reality. But you don't have to accept what propaganda news says is the truth. We just have to accept what they say is law. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I'm literally. So I'm actually about to start law school on top of everything else, and I admit, just the idea of being in class and having to wear the mask is just
sucks.
The whole thing.
It sucks.
It's messing with me. It really is.
Me too. The reason I don't, I wear a mask when I go out in public out of respect, but there are oftentimes I take it off. Why? Because it actually reduces the fresh air that you're breathing. There's plenty of signs on what masks actually do to you. Okay. And then there's other aspects. I have a heavy beard, so my masks don't ever fit right.
Seems like it.
Yeah, you're starting to break up.
I missed that last question you'd asked. Sorry.
I said I have a heavy beard, so masks don't fit me right. Okay, what about all those ZZ Top people? Masks don't work at all for them. What are they going to do? Make us shave our beards now to make masks fit right? He's muted again, Robert.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But no, I guess my question is, how far does this go? It's got the whole boiling frog thing going on right now, and
you're right. You're right. See, the thing is, you do have to adapt, and the rebellious, angry, pissed off side of you've got to get that under control, because you can adapt to this. You really can. And you asked me, what do I see? Masks are going to go on for a very long time. It will be a long time before movie theaters are open. And I bet a majority of the 3,500 movie theaters that are around the United States will close. Imagine if 50% of all the movie theaters close. Okay, well, then you're looking at 50% of the local bars will fail too. So
Yeah.
I grew up in a city that has 28 churches and 18 bars in a little 5-mile town. 4 square mile town. Okay, where I grew up is it's sports bars and churches everywhere. That's really common throughout the Midwest, though. So all that's going to change. All the other small businesses, the ice cream shops that only run during the summer are going to shut down. And then so many of the other small businesses are going to begin to shut down.
Yeah.
Cirque du Soleil just filed for bankruptcy. They have 11 touring groups.
So I have a question for you on the spiritual side of things. Why is this happening?
Karmic resolution, because people aren't doing the basic spiritual hygiene work that hasn't been allowed to be taught to us by the last 11 generations of those running societies at the 1% level.
Does that karmic retribution
Resolution, karmic
or
resolution.
resolution, big difference there. Is it resulting in just a decaying of society or a reshaping of society?
It's resulting in a entropy that's going against the control system itself. The system of domination and control is experiencing entropy unlike it ever has before. Okay. And what will come from that is factions inside factions, and fractalized aspects of fractal factions will begin to form in the system of domination and control, in which it'll attempt to internally take over these systems. This has happened before, but it'll happen at such a rate where humanity will have a break while we're supposed to be wearing our mask and supposed to be not touching, and they think that this is enough to keep us out of a journey into self-healing, self-nurturing, disconnection from the unnatural way of living, connection into the natural way of living, all the things that spiritual teachers have been talking about since the dawn of spirituality.
Yeah. If I may ask, on kind of my own microcosm, going into this law school endeavor, wanting to be able to maintain a spiritual perspective and in the simplest form, wanting to do good, but knowing what I'm getting into and the type of, cesspool that I'm entering into. I'm wondering,
So
do you see me being able to?
the answer is yes. Are you going into law to make money, or are you going into law to be patriotic with your service? Or some other reason?
No, los dos. No, I mean, I want to find a balance. My reason is to have a positive change, effect positive change within that realm on a political scale as well.
Then go into political science and not law.
Well, I've done that. I've done that before too, so that's why I've worked in politics before for a while. We've actually talked.
I remember talking to you. And the truth is, a law degree is not going to help you affect change in politics. People go to law to affect change in society by being enforcement, being prosecutors, or they go into law to make money. What is your actual reason for going into law? I know you said you want to affect political change. Lawyers don't affect political change at all.
The truth is, I want to be able to make I want to be able to make the money to go back to the political realm, because honestly, that's been a huge.
Then going into law right away is a good thing. Do you need to have a bar certified law card, pass the bar exam? No. You can have a law degree. There are plenty of people that have law degrees, but didn't pass the bar or do that. Doesn't matter if it's a tough test or not. They didn't need it for the career they were going in.
And that's kind of that's. It feels as if this is the next step I need to take as far as the education part of it. Am I actually going to practice? That has been a question where I'm
if you're not going to practice, there are so many other advanced degrees, communications, social media, data science that could put you in a far better position to what modern politics is going to evolve into. Right now, humanity and people here in the United States, we don't even know if there's going to be an election. But that's what the propaganda is telling us. I say there will be an election, and there will be another president, and a president after that, and a president after that, and a president after that. How will politics be in 8 years from now? This is what you got to see, because you're going to come out with an education that's already what? Outdated. So is a law degree going to help you in politics? No. You'll make a bunch of money. You'll meet under people who are great influencers, but you still won't have something that will give you the niche to be hired into a campaign to make it to those next levels.
Yeah.
Data science. Okay.
Well, I guess part of the thing that is driving me at this moment is that I've worked on plenty of campaigns and continue to be disappointed with the individuals I work for.
How many of those campaigns are back-ass words?
Every single one of them, even the ones I try to overrun myself. I mean,
exactly. If you really want to prove to yourself, you've got to put this together, a small group of people that have certain groups of education. One that's the data science manager, one that's the political science manager, and one that's the social media manager. And the four of you run for office, for 4 different offices. But you got to share your collective resources.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually exactly what I've been thinking of trying to put in motion. So,
okay. So most state level representatives cost about $190,000 to get elected. Now there are a number of them, depending on the state they're in, you need billions. But the average smaller states is about $190,000 in advertising you need to get elected. It's a lot of baby kissing, a lot of ass kissing, and a lot of promising. But you can also get plenty of face time in front of constituencies who will self-generate for you when it comes to the social media. Look who you would be running against. 50, 60, and 70-year-old, mostly computer illiterate personalities, right?
Yep.
So you should be able to outplay them at every level as long as you have the communication game, which is baby ass kissing and baby kissing down pat. Public speaking.
Yeah.
Mastering the public speaking side is what the boomers, the baby boomers who are running politics right now, and any 30-year-old kid, millennial cutoff is 35. Any 30-year-old kid can go and run for state representative and easily get a Kickstarter campaign going and have 1 or 2 local media people begin to promote them. But they got to choose to do that. And the vast majority of millennials are they see politics as so toxic they would never do it. Thus, why the boomers, the Karens, and the Kens are always running for office, who are then running our society. I don't want the Karens and the Kens to run our society anymore, do you?
Here, absolutely not.
Right.
But
So-
and to be fair, I understand that the turnoff. It is a cesspool. It is.
Yes,
you
it
know?
is a total cesspool. But if you run on the campaign of I am the anti-corruption person, that's your only thing, anti-corruption. I am here to employ anti-corruption techniques, tools, and policies. And that's all you have to run on, anti-corruption.
That's all I've ever wanted to run on too. No joke.
No,
And that's-
what campaign in modern history has solely run on anti-corruption? None. None. Because the only places that run on anti-corruption are banana republics. And we are in a banana republic. Okay? And you would make that a part of your you would make that a part of your campaign, getting us out of the banana republic. Using memes to your advantage. Hire a bunch of quality meme generators. Okay?
Yep.
You know it works. What office would you run for? Local state office would you run for? Well, what state would you want to run into? I think he got muted again.
Yeah, let's see. It disappeared. We got 102 people today so far.
Yeah.
Where did he go?
Did he drop because he was driving?
No, it keeps muting.
I'm still here. Sorry.
There we go. It's okay. So where would you run for? Where at?
Well, that's the question. Like, I'm just now moving to the Omaha area and going to see about whether this is the area to. I mean, I'm here for a few years, I guess, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I honestly, I don't. That's part of what I'm curious about is where I'll end up being able to have the most.
So in Nebraska, you're going to be going against the ranchers, farmers, and businessmen. Those are the ones that run for office. You got to know who's going to run, and you also have to understand that the political parties there are the old boys network, right?
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah.
Can the boomers old boy network be beaten by modern political science? Yes, it can. Absolutely, it can. And you can run what I would call a top secret campaign where not one boomer is going to be a part of your staff meetings. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
You then start going to local colleges and high schools and start giving motivational speeches on corruption. Could you still be doing your law degree during this? Absolutely, you can.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, do you see this? Do you see Omaha being the right place to do this, or somewhere in the Midwest, or do you think?
I think anywhere in the Midwest, you'll be successful, but it's how you brand yourself to the Midwest. Obviously, you have to have some form of Christianity acceptance into your diatribe of what you're talking about, but that doesn't mean it has to run you because you're still not worrying about the boomer votes.
Yeah.
You have 4 years to prepare a different voting audience who will naturally, the boomers will vote for you simply because your sole message is anti-corruption.
Yeah.
And then when you do get elected, let's say you get elected as a state representative. What do? All the bills you put forward are anti-corruption bills. And every time the bill doesn't talk, you go to the local news station and say, our Congress does nothing. Our Senate does nothing. And then 4 years later, you get elected as a state representative to the National Congress under corruption. This has been done. They just choose a different platform. There be many situations where you get elected as a state representative, and then you're on the federal representation. Done. And you can do it as neither party too, solely as the anti-corruption party.
And I've worked within the third party realm, and that can be just as much of a cesspool as the other two. But that's what you're talking. Just it really resonates with me because that's always been that's been my MO from the get go. Just been called a gadfly for sure because I tend to call people out on their bullshit. Excuse me.
Good. That will make you a perfect public speaker. That will make you a perfect public speaker. What is your motto? I'm calling the world out on its bullshit.
Here.
I can see signs on the side of the road, and there's going to be a whole lot of younger generation going, I like this guy. And there'll be a lot of mouthy boomers too. And again, I'm not anti-boomer. It is just the Karens and Kens who've taken over politics who are the boomers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying there for sure. Because it's not only have they taken over, but they have made sure that nobody who
exactly,
nobody's going to feel welcome other than that type of person.
Mm-hmm. And it's so easy to make a person when you debate them on stage to make their idiot side come out, especially if you're a good public speaker. They're boomers, Karens, and Kens. There's certain trigger words you say to them, and they can't control themselves.
True. I've seen it.
And Karen in the chat room, I'm not talking to you. That's the meme, the Karens and the Kens who are the entitled people. I know. Okay?
Good deal.
I would also say if there are any younger people listening, if you're even 21 to 34, you don't think you can win your local county commissioner? Yes, you can. It's been done since the dawn of history. Okay? It happens all the time. Do you just want to do the job? A lot of them don't. Some of them get paid, those county commissioners get paid good money, 70, 80 grand a year.
To do nothing sometimes, yep. Or
most of the time, do nothing,
Yep.
Yes. Would you rather be working at Burger King? You got job security. Only every 4 years you got to run.
It's a thing. Good deal. Well, thank you, good sir. Appreciate it as
You're
always.
welcome. Here's something else for you to think about. Are you going to do a 4-year political degree?
So
sorry, law degree. 4-year law degree, or were you looking at more?
It's a 3-year degree, and I was thinking about a joint degree, maybe an MBA or something. I haven't really decided yet.
So, what school?
So I'm actually going to be going to Creighton University in Omaha.
Great school. I would go and talk to your guidance counselor or somebody at the dean level about advanced public speaking.
Okay.
You may have to outsource that. You may not find a college that's going to do that. And going into the acting community is not a bad thing either. There are plenty of acting classes that can teach you to be a stage master also. Okay, and then speech writing. Okay, that's ultimately what you need a law background for, is to make you sound valid in your speech conversations. Okay?
Yeah.
Could you get away with 1 and 2 years of law? Yes. And somebody that's acting as your anti-corruption advisor so the right law language comes out? Absolutely. Okay? But it's going to be public speaking, speech writing, history of politics, stuff like that ultimately is going to put you down the path of being a professional elected person.
Yeah.
And you already have the years of campaign experience already to back you up.
Yeah.
I'll vote for you.
I appreciate that. It's always.
I'll be one of your secret campaign weapons.
I appreciate that very much. Yeah, no, it's always, you know, there's not too many even remotely spiritually minded people in the realm, in the political realm, but they are out
Christians.
there.
There
And
are
I know,
Christians, I know, but
very true.
many of them
Very
are
true.
very much toxic.
Very, very true. Very true.
Very toxic. Okay, but that allows to expose the toxics of politics, because corruption goes to Christian politics too. You know how easy it would be to out Christian politics? Just hope nobody shoots you.
Well, that's always, I mean, you know, always figured it's going to come to that at some point. So anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, you could probably win any local race just by exposing the existing corruption there that no one knows about.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's step one for sure.
Okay.
So,
And if you ever want to run for city mayor, really, like a medium or big size city mayor, what are you going to do? You're going to reform the police unions.
there you go. Yep. Especially, geez, tell you about Omaha. Plenty of.
Reform the police unions. I'm here as anti-corruption and reform the unions. All of a sudden, there'll be plenty of money for everyone.
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
That's right.
Just a reallocation of priorities, and could do a lot of good all across the country for sure.
Yes.
So,
all right, man. Thanks a lot for calling in. You've been an inspiration to a lot of people.
I appreciate you, Andrew, as always.
You're welcome,
Thank you,
brother.
good sir.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Take it easy. We'll talk soon.
Thanks.
All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who is next.
Okay, I got a quick suggestion for the mask problem. Whoop.
The mask problem?
Oh, it's not working. Never mind.
Okay.
That was a meme I have to bring.
There we go. Funny. All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who's next.
Susan Garcia.
Susan Garcia, are you there?
Hi,
Hi, where are you calling from today?
Flagstaff, Arizona, 7,000 feet up.
Flagstaff, Arizona. What do you want to talk about today?
Well, I'm just very confused about the times. I'm confused about my part in the times.
What if you didn't have any part in the times and you were just there to live your life and be happy and not allow the times to affect you? What if that was your part? Could you accept it?
Yes.
Okay.
However, I feel like I need to do more. I feel like
You want to run for political office?
no. Oh gosh, no. I'm a boomer. So
Okay. Plenty other boomers running for office.
yeah, but
Do you just want to post on Facebook all day and wait for likes and comments to come in?
No, I don't like Facebook.
Then there's very little one can do unless you want to step up into the teacher role, do videos, make products, and be in the business of self-help, motivation, and spirituality, or something else relating to those concepts that motivates people out of their Facebook meme posting.
Well, I do post relevant material.
Relevant to you.
Relevant to me. About what is going on and the truth. I do try and awaken people. I have been censored left and right.
Why not run for state politics?
I'm just not up to putting myself out there in that way. I have thought that maybe I could inspire others with my life.
Sure.
That they
absolutely biographies, books, videos. That's still putting yourself out there. Guess what? Biography, books, and videos and products is putting yourself more out there than state politics.
My question though is, am I hurting myself more by drudging up my past, because it's quite a past, a lot of traumas and such. Am I
Yes.
hurting myself by doing
yes,
that?
because there's aspects that you haven't healed of it yet, just like everybody else in the world.
Well, there's years that I've blocked from my childhood that I would rather let lie if I don't need to.
Well, we're in the awakening. It's not about letting things lie anymore. That which you let lie will awaken during the awakening, and will tell you you're not going to be awakened if you don't deal with this thing you've let lie.
Well,
that's why everyone's shit's getting activated, and that's why you think you need to be out there doing stuff so you can avoid your stuff in the past.
Well, how do
you think if you help others, you'll instantly be healed of the stuff you're avoiding?
Well, if I don't remember it.
Hypnotherapy. And it's not one session. Well, the suddenly I can't be hypnotized energy. Everyone can. It's allowing it.
So that's your advice to really.
My advice to you is stop avoiding with an avoidance mechanism. If you know you have stuff to deal with in your childhood, put aside 1 hour a week to begin to examine it. It doesn't need to be any more than 1 hour a week. And if you have this feeling like it's a bottle, it's a champagne bottle that's been shook up and you're about to pop the cork and it's going to go everywhere, professional help. Past life regression people, hypnotherapy, cranial sacral therapy, all the other techniques that help take some of that stress of popping the cork off.
I've been in therapy for years and years and years.
That's standard therapy. This isn't self-healing, self-nurturing therapy where you're dealing with the trauma itself. Big difference.
Okay.
Big difference.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I can do that. I can try and find a hypnotherapist here. We're kind of limited in, well, maybe not so much anymore. A lot of people from California are headed this way. And maybe there will be a hypnotherapist in town.
You can also find them online.
Oh, that's right. They can do that online.
Yeah, boomer suddenly realizing technology. I'm playing around with you, darling.
I know. It's all right.
Yes, online. You can find top-notch ones anywhere in the world.
Okay.
And you got to stick with it. Just because you have one experience that says defines it will not mean 4 or 5 or 6 times later you won't have something different. Sometimes you have to just go to this new state of allowing so you can get back into those memories.
Okay. And do you believe that those memories are, because I've worked on what I do remember.
And what do you remember?
Well, growing up with a bipolar 1 alcoholic mother, and my brother tells me that my father would come home and beat the shit out of us, but I don't remember that. I do remember my mom attempting suicide and me watching her being carried out on a gurney with white stuff all over her mouth. And I was sent away. My brother and I were sent away. And we didn't see her for over 3 months. And my father wasn't about to tell us that
he almost killed her.
No, he did have her committed. Both of my parents were doctors, but that's not an easy life. I was so scared of needles because of an incident that happened with a hypodermic needle and my parents, and the needle came off the barrel in my butt, and they had to dig it out, and then they gave me another shot. I had held them at bay in the bathroom. I locked myself in the bathroom. I don't know. It was for hours. Yeah, yes, ouch.
Ah, ouch. Ouch.
And finally, I let them in, and bam, I was over the bathtub. Bam went the needle, and then bam went another needle, and
But that's the generation you grew up in.
yes,
It was a very violent generation. And there's a reason. So I'm going to use this term. There's so many reasons why those Kens and Karens are that way.
yes, yes. I did later grow up to be a registered nurse on the Navajo Indian Reservation for a while. And so that dispelled my fears of needles. But it was hard. It was really hard to look that fear in the eye. And finally, I was 50, went and got my nursing degree and became a registered nurse. And well, the Native Americans really don't like white people, as they call us, Biliganas. And
Rightfully so at times.
Yes.
Okay.
But as a nurse, I was there to help.
I get it.
And well, they got rid of me after 3 years. And I didn't go back into nursing because nurses can be very cruel.
Oh, yeah. The whole industry is very cruel.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean you can't take the current education that you have right now and put it into a different direction.
I let my certification, my registration expire.
That doesn't mean much, though. You have the education already as a backing.
Yes, I have done. I have gone into Reiki. I've got my master's in Reiki. I have also done geo love healing.
You could become an acupuncturist in 2 years and have a business in 3.
I'm 62, Andrew.
So what? So what? So what?
I have a problem with energy. I'm just tired.
No, you're bored.
Is that what it is?
That's why you post, and that's why you look for feedback, and that's why you're asking me from the very beginning what I should be doing. You're bored.
Okay.
A lot of people are in your exact scenario. You're waiting for your inner genius to be activated. You are the only one that can activate your inner genius. There are other people that can assist. And once your inner genius is activated, then it's a battle of chemicals. Do I want to be happy? Do I want to motivate? At any given moment, it's a choice. It's a choice.
I want to be happy, and I do want to inspire others, because if I can survive what I've survived, then they can too.
And thrive.
And thrive. So that's where I'm at. I do choose to be happy. I just
guess what? The conspiracy world and the political world is not the place for you to be. Politics in general, regurgitating other politics, it's a toxic, dissociative world.
Yes, there's so much going on, and it's
garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. Okay? It's garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Why do you want to be in a garbage community?
I don't. That's why I'm up here at 7,000 feet.
Okay. So what do you want to do that's going to be positive and uplifting to yourself and to the community you choose to want to choose to interact with?
I love your face.
Because you're frozen.
I'm frozen.
You're frozen. You are in doubt and hesitation of yourself. That is your problem right now. Doubt and hesitation. You have been watering the seeds of doubt for so long. Hesitation is your natural response.
I believe that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I have been pretty brave at all the different careers that I've gone into. Being 50 and going into nursing school, that took some courage.
You could get a hypnotherapy degree in less than 3 months. 9 weeks if you want to go do the Dolores Cannon past life hypnotherapy regression class. All online.
Okay. That's Dolores Cannon?
Yep.
Okay.
And plenty of other hypnotherapy schools out there too.
Well, I'd want to do the best.
Quantum healing touch. All you got to do is choose.
Sarah says I have the voice for hypnotherapy. Thank you, Sarah.
I believe too.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like that. I think I would like that.
I can hear happiness in your voice now. The veil of boredom is being lifted off of you.
Soul-based life Becca says do QHHT and past life regression. It's life-changing.
It is. I did it years ago. Quantum healing touch. Yep.
Did it change your life?
Everything that I've taken, I've learned has changed my life. Craniosacral therapy, myofascial, Reiki 1, 2, 3, all of them. Yeah.
Okay. Let me write that down. Yeah, you just, I feel hope now.
Just don't smoke the hopium.
No, I gotta stay away from that stuff. I fall too deep into that stuff.
Anything that says it's going to happen tomorrow, wait till tomorrow. It's happening next month. The next report is walk away from it.
Okay. I understand. I'm staying the here and now with my little world here and now. And
okay. Once again, like I said from the beginning, what if your whole part of the awakening was to work on yourself, your family, your friends, and your local community, and not having to be at that? Because if you don't want to run for politics, local politics or government, and actually affect change at that level, there's very little the average human can do short of putting out self-motivation, self-healing products and projects.
Okay.
Darling, thanks a lot for calling. I'm going to move on to the next caller.
Thank you so much, Andrew. I really
so welcome.
It. Thank you, chat.
All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who wants to have a conversation next.
Okay, next caller will be Angelo.
Angelo, are you there? Angelo. Going once. Going twice.
Hello.
Hey, hi. Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from Cologne, Germany.
Cologne, Germany. Welcome to the show. What do you want to talk about today?
Actually, we talked about 2 months ago. I don't know if you remember. But first of all, I want to thank you because from that reading, like I had a really powerful healing. You could say. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
It's okay.
Yeah, there was something that really stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
You said that basically I wasn't able to be a child, right? And I decided to look into that and do some shadow work and parts work and stuff. And it's been really, really enlightening. So yeah, that's what I wanted to start out with.
Okay.
Apart from that, we talked about me moving back to Germany, which is where I am right now.
You were in Spain last time we talked?
Yes, well, I still have my stuff there. It's just a question of fully moving back.
I remember talking to you.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, I came to Cologne. I'm visiting Cologne because basically all the signs in the universe told me to come here. So I came here, and it's been really triggering. Like I'm kind of at a place where I'm like, why am I coming back? Even though I know I should come back because everything is telling me to do so. So I guess I just wanted to touch on that again and maybe get some more clarity in terms of me really being sure to come back here, because it's been quite intense.
How many more signs in the universe do you need to say it's the right before you stop questioning?
I know it's the right thing. It's just a matter of how I'm feeling here. That just doesn't match up with the reason.
What you're feeling is not always the truth about what you're experiencing.
Okay.
In your own words, you have said the universe has aligned you to come back there. Yes or no?
100%, yeah.
What more proof do you need?
I guess it's just, if that's the reason, I just don't know why I'm feeling the way I do here.
Because there's still a part of you that's living in Spain that didn't want to give up on that dream. There are still aspects of you that need to be healed, that need to accept with what you're going through, the changes that you're going through.
Mm.
The levels of uncertainty, there's what you're creating, emotions that are creating thought constructs and structures that you begin to question if the universe is right or not. And I ask you again, what more proof do you need from the universe? Because it doesn't get any more. The universe doesn't just like, here's your fucking sign, be here, bitch. It doesn't do that. Okay?
That's how it feels.
Okay, it doesn't do that.
Yeah. It's just I don't know, like it's what you said, like, because in Spain I felt so free. I felt levels of freedom that I didn't feel anywhere else and never felt in my life before. And coming back, it was like getting back into a cage emotionally, because in Germany,
that's the old you running you again, because there were parts of you that you left in Germany you left undealt with.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You can be free anywhere in the world. I get people that call me all the time. I can't do anything in my hometown. Bullshit. You can, you just don't want to.
But like the culture here, like collective shame is a thing. Like
Spain doesn't have collective shame from the Catholic religion. Come on, they just do it a different way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I guess it's clear. It's just, I don't know. I guess I'm confused as to having all the signs but feeling like shit here. Because
you've got to do the inner work. You've got to do the inner work. That's why.
Is that like a question of belonging, or?
No, it's just doing the inner work so you can feel accurate, right, in the place that the universe is telling you to be. So you can truly trust what's going on in your environment.
I mean, even like when I get these signs, I'm like, I'm getting a bit pissed off because I don't know why. Because, for example, today I was walking around the city and I had this deja vu moment again. And I was like, well, great, but what is that telling me? I mean, yes,
it's telling you to be there, bitch. It's telling you, bitch, be there.
Yeah.
Do you need a personalized letter from the universe?
But what can I do to figure out what it is that I'm supposed to do here? I mean, I do have, it's not that I'm totally unclear. Like, I have an idea of what I'm going to do next.
That's
not my worry.
Which is what?
well, we were talking about career-wise because the last time we talked, I was a bit lost and didn't have any idea of what I want to do, which that has changed. Like I know what I want to do for now.
Which is what? Which is what?
Well, I want to get certified to become a nutritionist, which is specialized in plant-based nutrition.
Okay.
Because it's like I've been into plant-based nutrition for several years, and I just want to kind of capitalize on that.
Get the certification. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what.
While you're at it, you get a certification in some other dietary classes too, just so you have a rounded education.
Yeah, so that's basically my plan right now. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I have a hard time like articulating myself in terms of my feelings. It's just
because you're still uncertain. You are the same uncertain person who left Spain, and that's still a part of you, which is now you have to do the inner work on uncertainty to get out of doubt and hesitation, to stop watering the seeds of doubt.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Inner work is never easy.
Yeah.
You're the only one that can do it.
I have done the what do you call it? The union and communion
consciousness strike.
Which has been like super powerful.
How often do you do it?
I did it like a couple of times, maybe 5 to 6 times.
Over how many months?
I would say the last 2 months. The last time we talked within that time frame.
So once a week.
Well, a bit less than that. Maybe, once a week, every 2 weeks.
That's really not practice.
Yeah. Should I do that more often?
You should be doing it every day. Anything is an everyday practice.
I did because I'm a bit, this might sound weird, but I like to do experiments with these types of things. So
your daily practice is not an experiment. Your spiritual work is not an experiment. If you're experimenting, you're not doing a practice.
I mean, not in terms of, well,
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. How long have you been listening to me for?
Well, the first time I heard from you was a couple of years ago, but it was just on and off. Sometimes I heard a show, an interview. But ever since this year started, I've listened to you more often.
Well, on many, don't take this as an insult. Many shows, I get people that call and do a practice once a month or every 3 weeks. And I say, that's not real practice. That's posing.
Okay.
Real practice is not experimentation, is a daily choice of commitment. Doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's meditation, yoga, the variety of other things that are out there, contract revocation, spell work, ceremony, ritual, something you do every day to say that I'm dedicated to the commitment of my personal discipline to raise my frequency each and every day. And if you're not in a daily practice, whatever that practice evolves to being, you are not in the practice, meaning whatever you really think you're doing is just giving you the placebo energies of the moment. If it worked for you, why didn't you do it multiple times, many more times? Because there's a part of you that still has a doubt in the daily practice itself, which is about commitment and courage, which are not mystical, requires you to summon that force each and every day. The journey to self-mastery is you have to master your own time, your own self.
Yeah, totally. Because I've been, that's, well, I can say it about myself. Yes, I have been flaky with many things. It's just that, like, it's very easy for, how should I say?
It's very easy to be flaky.
To be flaky and to have self-doubt as well in terms of where's this going. But yeah, I mean, when I did that, because what I did was, that's what I meant with being experimental, is I really like Spanish flamenco music. I don't know why, it just touches me on a level that is I don't know, really deep. So I played that and I listened to you read the whole speech, and energetically I could feel like a lot was happening. And that's also something I wanted to ask you, because I could feel around me and in me a lot is happening. But what is that actually? I just know it was intense, but I don't know what happens when you do that, or when I try to feel the words you're speaking.
You're actually feeling the words that I'm speaking. But when you go to do it in your own voice and listen, because the next part of it is doing it in your own voice, recording it, because I put the speech out for you to record it in your own voice and take it to the next level so you could hear your own words, so you can begin to perceive the changes that it's doing in you, which is commitment, courage, discipline for you.
Yeah.
What is it doing? Exactly that. It's doing something in you that's making you notice, holy shit, something's going on in my field. And if you want to know what it is, you got to do commitment, courage, discipline, and follow through. Because I can give you all different sorts of answers, but they won't mean nothing until you have the experience.
Yeah, it's it's really on myself.
Stop being a poser, a pretender in spirituality. Jump balls deep, man. Stop keeping the toe in the water.
That's also because I have thought about that, because you told me that last time, that I told you that I have parts of me that really don't want to be into spirituality at all, and you said that it was related to not really being a kid. And I try to find that connection, but it's definitely still there, like parts of me that are super resistant. I guess it just takes more shadow work.
No. Why do you have to use the word shadow work? Who taught you that?
Dive into the unconscious.
Who taught you the word shadow work?
Well, I've read it.
Yes, it's a light worker saying that's promoted by a variety of teachers. And if you don't understand the nature of what it is through those teachers' perspectives, it will destroy most people. You really don't know what shadow work is, let alone what inner work is. Let's be frank.
Okay.
You pretend you do. If you were doing work, you would understand that you have to do shadow work on a regular basis based off the phases of the moon and the emotions that you're going through and the level of process that you have to do. And that when you give up, shadow wins. How often are you giving up to go do something else because you're bored? Okay?
Yeah.
Means the shadow's running you. When you stop doing shadow work and start doing light production work, which is what the contract revocations are, ritual and ceremony, you're producing your own light, your shadow isn't running you anymore. And you're actually getting to do what is called inner work. Going to the aspects of yourself that want to dim your light. Take away your choices. And begin to limit those from having effects in your life.
Yeah, that's what I want, because I can feel like internally it's just such a...
Then stop doing shadow. Stop doing shadow work, because I'm not trying to insult you. You're not good enough. You're not good enough to do shadow work. You're not committed. Only people who are truly committed should be doing shadow work. And if you're not truly committed with lots of discipline, shadow work will destroy you. And you can quote me on that, anybody out there. Okay? The shadow almost always wins in shadow work, because you never truly understand what the nature of the shadow is. Until such a time you understand its purpose, to dim your light, to make it a shadow. Thus, when you start producing light, the shadow, like a lever, it lowers its power level.
Yeah.
That's why the union and communion consciousness strike made so much actions and motions inside you, because it puts you in a state, I've got to produce light. Holy shit, I can produce light. Oh, look at me, I'm a light being. Because you got out of the shadow side.
I mean, I've been telling myself for a long time that that's what I should be doing, but I guess it was like totally the wrong approach to Because I felt like
because you're not committed. The wrong approach is not being committed. Every time. If you're not committed, there are plenty of techniques out there. If you stay committed, work.
Mhm. Okay, then.
You're at one of my famous moments. It's a suck it up, Buttercup moment.
Right.
Okay? Pull on the
Mhm.
big boy pants.
And just do it.
Just do it. Put your Nikes on and just do it.
Yeah. No, I mean, at this point, there's almost nothing else left to do, I feel.
Right. Because boredom has played itself out, and it's repetition of boredom now.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Yeah.
You've been a good teacher to a lot of people.
Thank
I
you
was
so
hard
much.
on I was hard on you only because you just need to be hard with yourself now. You need to discover the word commitment, courage, and discipline. And none of those are mystical.
Mm-hmm.
They're choices. That's
All
all
right.
they are, is choices each and every day. All right, brother. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Good talking to you again.
Thank you so much, Andrew.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who is next.
Okie dokie.
Razorlay. Are you there? Hola. Bonjour. Are you there?
Aloha.
Aloha. Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Norway, brother.
Norway. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So what do you want to talk about today?
Talk about this the connection between martial arts and mushrooms.
Okay. What about them?
And the panther, Amanita panthenarium, and I just these couple of days it was just in my mind.
Have you done martial arts and mushrooms together?
Yeah, or microdosing and just doing qigong and but mostly like daily. And then when I do it, I usually do the combination.
So how are you microdosing? Because most people have microdosing completely wrong, and they do it backwards. And
I go to the mountains. I pick them or one, and I connect to the land there. And
okay,
yeah,
that's not microdosing.
And then I can
How much-
dry it and take it home, and then I have just powder and take just a piece of it in my.
Okay, that's not microdosing either.
Every day? No,
you have to take the exact same amount in So you could say you have 3.5. It's literally you have 3.5 grams. You're going to make that into 100 or 80 servings into little caps. Less than 0.1, usually 0.08 is a microdose serving. Period. And if you're taking more one day and less the other day, you're actually doing microdosing the completely wrong way and just fucking yourself up.
oh, you can, yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm listening. And, yeah.
10-10. Got to take exactly the whole point of dosing is to take the same dose, the exact same time for 30 days, 15 or 30 days. And then you 30 to 90 days off, and you raise it to 60 days. Okay? So you can't have a pinch of this and a pinch of that. Exact same amount every time.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're putting yourself out of your normal
for a month, and then stop, wait a year, and then 1 month every day the same amount.
Hold on a bit, folks. Looks like we lost Andrew for a moment. I think his There.
My video off. The internet's fucking up here. All right, so where were we at? You got to take it for a month and take 30 days off, and then you go for 2 months.
All right.
And most people should never do longer than 2 months on a microdose. But the key is you end your dose. Let's say you are breaking 3.5 grams into 30 days, okay? Or 3.5 grams into 90 servings, 80 servings, whatever it's going to be for your microdose. Less is better. More is not better, okay? And once you finish breaking out at the end, you look at the total amount that you take in your last day at the exact same time, you take an equivalent of what you took. So over 30 days, if you took 2 grams or 2.5 grams, the very last day you take 2.5 grams all at the same time. And then you take a month off.
All right.
Now, when it comes to martial arts, when you are accurately doing microdosing, the key to understanding how psilocybin microdosing can affect you is your stretching and exercise. So if you are a disciplined person and know that you're going to take your microdose at 10 o'clock in the morning, and roughly within 90 minutes, you're going to feel the first effects of it, but knowing full well, the more you microdose, it'll take less and less time for it to hit from the moment that it hits your gut to the moment that you feel the first flinch or ting or whatever it's going to be. So you generally already want to start your stretching as soon as you have done your dosage. So you do your dosage and you begin stretching. 30 to 45 minutes of raw stretching. Okay, that could be qigong stretching, so on and so forth. And then you're going to want to go into a 30 to 45 minute, some form of aerobic martial arts workout. Now, if you are working with a sparring partner, it will amplify it 100-fold. And you might trip your ass off from like super small doses. This is where you learn to control your chi. Okay? Now, once you finish your workout, you will be on a very high dopamine buzz, and the actual mushrooms itself will having less and less effect to you. You do your standard cool down, and then you want to go into introspective phase, reading a book. This will then bring the mushroom journey back out of self-control of the body. And if you're able to maintain that journey, stretching followed up by aerobic workout with or without a partner, with a cool down, and then right into reading, you will have maximized the total possible effects of your microdosing during that time. And you will learn a lot about your body, mind, and spirit, and the mushrooms in general.
Yeah. Well, thank you. When you talk about giving the energy back 10 times fold when you're being psychic attacked, how doesn't it not drain my energy giving 10 times more energy back to the person attacking?
You're not giving them
it's just a stream, right?
You're not giving them your energy. You're tapping into the stream of infinite consciousness that can increase it tenfold.
Yeah, all right. I've been making bee candles lately. For some reason, I just feel like making bee candles, making a ceremony and intention. Now the 15th, when the eclipse, I was thinking of making a lot of candles and having a ceremony. And
okay, what is your ceremony going to be about?
Something that came to me was that we're going to be washed 2 years back, or like everything that's been happening for the last 2 years is going to be washed by this eclipse on the 15th, or do you know anything about this?
I am not a person that believes eclipses do that stuff. There are windows of opportunity in which those that have done the self-healing and self-nurturing work can have intense moments of clearing and cleansing. But for the most part, if you're not doing the work, it will be a time of harsh energies for you. but it looks like you're doing the work, which means there's a window of opportunity for you. And probably while you're preparing these candles is part of your storing of your intentional energy into them. So that you begin to, when you begin to light them up and use them on your ceremonial time, you have the past energies of the selves who have the intention of advancing your spiritual journey.
And the Black Panther from the movie. I saw this connection and with the use of the Panther Amanita and the martial or some hidden society in Africa using this, and just curious,
Tripping people in Africa, and I know I saw the thing that was its own, let's just call it soft disclosure, that movie.
Oh, it was not from a movie. It was from this guy. He takes like huge doses of mushrooms. He's a Black African martial artist dude.
Oh, I can't stand people that do that. I'm sorry.
That do what?
They destroy. Most people can't handle big doses. They're called hero doses.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put you down. It's just all too often I run into these people that say do this, and this, and they don't take into effect that some people just can't do that much. And don't have the same resistance energy that others do. But the movie The Black Panther, the guy does take a drug that allows him to go in the spirit world.
Yeah.
In the movie. It's actually in the movie where he takes a drug.
Yeah, and it
gives him superpowers.
In real life, is that connected to the Amanita Panther?
No.
No, it's not. All right. No. That's out there. All right.
There are no panthers in Africa. No Black Panthers in Africa. First thing first. Crazy world of movies is the world of movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, brother. I got to let you go and move on to the next call. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, Robert. Let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who is next.
All righty. Let's see. Armenia.
Armenia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Bronx, New York.
Bronx, New York. Welcome to the show. What do you want to talk about today?
Thank you. First of all, I want to give you thank you for that wonderful package that you put together with Andre. I tell you that I felt I had to buy that. I did it when I had just $100 in my bank account because I knew that I had to get it. And I was fascinated with one of the recording from February 1st about the Hungarian reporters and and the Roman time numerals to change it, this dosifying. I have been fascinated with that, and the 5 fingers AI. I love so much about those two recordings. I tell you that I had to go back and forth and listen it. And I create myself one heart, like with a color, and I change, like I felt like automatic downloaded, like I don't know, maybe it's Galactic language or light language. However, I put like the 12. Instead to put 12 number, I put some letters, and I could get the sound, and I got like the opposite. Instead to start from 12 to 1, I start from 12 back to 11, and then go back in the other circle. And I did my fucking renounce for the sorties 21st, and I make the fire in my house. It was, I want to really say thank you to you for this wonderful work. I cannot see, I cannot even express how much gratitude I have for all of you that have been coming forward to helping us to get out of this craziness, controlling this planet. I tell you, I'm like a firing up to create my liberation.
Well, thank you so much.
Really, I'm feeling fascinated about it.
Well, you sound like you're on fire.
Yeah, I am because I feel that excited to be like the couch, just the couch to be served for the system, manipulation and control. And, I'm a Spanish speaker, and I did my fucking revocation, and then I translated in English. I don't know if it's good, but however, I did it for my fire. And really, I want just to ask you about the numeral time, because when I create my club, with a heart, I'm looking for change and become like a real estate a time agent, and I want to buy my year 1962 when I was born, as I want to change whatever they put in me when I was born that day. I want to also I want to buy some from a stock market for my year when I was born. I would like to see if you can, elaborate a little about that, about how I can disconnect with the Romero time.
So first thing first about disconnecting from Roman numeral time is to understand that you're toxically connected to it. And the journey to detoxifying from Roman numeral time is to being in no time, which is you're giving yourself time to do the contract revocations, to do the daily practice, so that you begin to build up the resistance to the toxicity, that your daily practice is the way of saying no to Roman numeral time for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, until you're getting up to a daily practice that's about 80 to 90 minutes a day. And not everyone can maintain 80 or 90 minutes a day. And that journey of getting the endurance to say, I'm in the mind space where Roman numeral time has no effect on me, and the work that I'm doing in there is my personal flow of energy, my journey of my spirit, my raw creative power. And having that time begins to build up a resistance to it in general, so that you can enter no time at any moment in time of Roman numeral time and have even more intense moments that don't allow Roman numeral time to affect you.
Okay? Yeah, but from the morning when I see the sun coming, rising up, I look at it straight and roll my eyes, like you said, and I can concentrate it, and then I feel like I want to create like a sun, like a blue color sun, to transform whatever had to be transformed. I'm just like, I had to change this crazy experience that I'm experiencing this planet. And I feel like if I use like an anklet, like the blue sun, and then get inside and then connected with the water and the trees. Because I saw it in one of my dreams, I saw that the trees were, it was a lot of it was the area, but there were so many trees in that area, but the trees were like open to me. It was like I can get inside them, and they could get inside me. And at the same time, when I use the water to empower myself, and I can feel like I don't know if it's like a language from my past life, from my for my time, maybe in another galaxy or something. I can feel that here I say the word. I don't know the meaning, but I know what I'm saying. I don't know if you can get that one. It's kind of because
it makes perfect sense to me. Yeah. But as you begin to make the journey longer and longer, the will start making sense to you. You're at the state where reclaiming personal authority means a lot to you. And there will come a state where you've reclaimed enough personal authority, you're going to want to emit personal authority in the environment around you, which is where you're at. You're saying no to Roman numeral time. And then there are other things you're going to say no to in the reality. Propaganda, you have no effect over me. Neighbor that's down the street that's an asshole, you have no effect on me. Cars honking on the street, you have no effect on me. Until such a point, you've created this barrier wall and boundaries of your personal authority that doesn't allow things to harvest energy from you.
Okay. Do you think this language that I'm getting is like a from my native galactic background? Because it's so clear and it's like I can even sing in those even the I know what I'm saying, however I cannot translate it, just see it.
I get that. I have that happen with my light language all the time. The answer is start recording yourself and start listening to it. Okay? Once you start recording and listening, you have a different commitment to what's going on.
Yeah.
And your wisdom and knowledge about what you're saying and have whole new understanding because there are many layers you don't understand. And new come and you'll be able to refine the practice itself.
Okay.
And what are your galactics doing? They're your language coaches right now.
Oh, yeah. I heard this morning somebody called me about 4:30. It was so clear. It was like Armenia. And I wake up 4:30. I said, I gotta get out of the bed because remember that you say you gotta, if you wake up early, that means you have to sit down and start receiving. And that's what I did this morning about 4:30. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Then I just keep practicing my language, and then it will be the moment. Let's see if I think about my uncle that he's sick. I can start saying words and seeing him embodied with the healing energy or whatever is happening to me. If I feeling like down for a moment, I just start saying whatever is can, and then I got the shift energy shift right away instantly.
So the answer is yes, but you also have to put a pause so that you start your intentions. It's not randomly going to light language for this person just because you're suddenly motivated. You've got to give yourself the committed control. I am doing this as a prayer healing energy for this person. If they don't want this energy, it will go back to the universe and the healing will still be done in a different way. So you're not forcing this energy. It's allowed to be taken in.
Okay. If I say something like esquinas one not those macalates yoka not to like smith the ha non to limbis to comika GFS yes or like this maki and then like a smith more like the smata. It's like it's like something that flow and then I can continue and then it's like a going the smooth process.
Okay, so what you were just doing is you were actually doing like 10 languages at once.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. So in light language, one enunciation, akok, can actually be like 10 paragraphs of English language. It's all encoded in there. So you again, like I said, at least 10 different languages are in what you just did. And in the nature of the statement was a philosophy on life. And how to take that philosophy of life and make it applicable to you without becoming aggressive with this philosophy, because all too often philosophies become ideology, bartered ideologies.
Okay.
And that's where a lot of people get caught up on a light language. Most people don't realize they're speaking dozens or hundreds of light languages simultaneously. And that's a natural skill from your soul family. That's not something to think it's a negative. It's a positive. Because after you slow down and listen to it, you'll begin to understand there are different nuances of what you're saying, and you will begin to empath new informations out of the many layers that are there. Okay. And then unpack and uncode new light languages. And 3 months from now, you might be speaking 1,000 light languages at once.
Oh, wow.
Right. And that's your birthright and legacy to the rest of the world. And in fact, everyone can learn to speak tens of thousands of light languages simultaneously.
Yeah, that's why maybe I had the feeling that when I was talking, I feel like I'm talking about a different, like you say 1,000 millions of words.
A million letter alphabet. Exactly. We got 26. Imagine 1 million letters in your alphabet.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. And do you mind if I ask you like what kind of background I have? Because I feel like I have been here since the beginning of this planet. It's like a so weird sensation sometimes. Like, that this feeling like it's over, it's enough. I have had enough. It's something like that. That's
What are you
feeling.
talking about? You're just getting started.
Oh my.
You've been here long enough to know the end of the old is done and the beginning of a new is beginning, and you're just getting started. And the whole point of coming here was to have this new beginning to come so the old would end.
Wow.
Which is the ending of ancestral karmic debt as a universal law. And this world and the 66 planets attached to it in the solar system were the crowning achievement of ending all ancestral karmic debt vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I said if it's just forget what we had done and just feeling with love and compassion and just feel the whole planet. Why we cannot do that if we are creators?
If it were that easy, it'd have been done a long time ago, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
All the love and lighters would have won in the 1300s.
Yeah.
Isn't the world doesn't work that way. There are a lot of people who have to work out their ancestral debt karmas or move on past this universe into another universe that continuing to use ancestral karmic debt.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to co-create peace and the end of this karma. Really, I'm looking for.
Me too.
I'm looking forward.
Me too. I'm looking forward for this all to be over and we get a spaceship and take people on tours around the universe.
Right. We are walking like in four feet when we should be flying. It's like the feeling I have.
I want to put on a jetpack and fly around.
Yeah, and teletransportation and
all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Thank you so much, Andrea. I really appreciate you and everyone that is collaborating for you bring all these knowledges out, because I feel like I've been waiting for that for a long time.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, darling. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
All right, Robert. Is Monty still here?
Let's find out here. Monty. Whoops. Spell his name right. There you go, Monty. I'm unmuting you.
Monty, are you there?
I was given a choice, stay muted or unmuted, and the brain's gone, quick, pick one. And then they brought up the question of who's speaking now. And there's a rabbit hole.
That was the Monty that's spelled Monti.
Or E, and yeah, so.
Yes, or Monty. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm all right, except for I think I've pinched a nerve in my back, and I've got like 5 different reasons for it. But the point is, it hurts, and I'm trying to self-heal. But the comedic list is I slept wrong, which is a weird concept. I coughed, and the muscle's gone. Oh, that didn't work out well. Or it's a multi-dimensional being with a large lance that stabbed me in the back when I was playing with the time stream. I don't know which one it is.
It could just be the chair you're sitting in.
Yeah.
No, I don't want it to be my chair.
But I've been sitting in it for 1.5 years. Why now?
Get a new chair.
All right, I'll just add that to the list of things I need. But yeah, it's really weird where it's just
or you got to put pillows on the chair. You got to get yourself a butt donut.
Oh, okay. Interesting. It's because I'm getting old. Good. Yeah, it's like I sit perfectly still, and then I just lean my head 3 millimeters to the right, and then there's a lot of electrical messages from my right side of my back saying you're in pain. I'm like, so it's not constant. It's just when I move.
Yeah, because your back is spasming.
Yeah. And that I feel awake when that happens. So what you can do is go get those Tiger Balm pads. Do you know what those are? Yes.
Okay, so you put it right on top of it, and because you could use more than one Tiger Balm pad at a time, And
Yep.
what I recommend people that are having muscle spasm is they take 2 and they try to center the first one and they put the second one on the opposite side where it doesn't hurt.
All right. Yep.
Yeah.
To keep balance, or
No, because it's what Tiger Balm is doing is using capsaicin, which opens up the pores and puts heat into the body so that the actual blood vessels and open up. And then more fluid gets pulled out of there. And the reason the muscles are spasming is you have fluid pressing on a knot that can't unwind itself.
okay, and that's sort of turning on the nerve, saying hello.
Correct.
So, yeah.
And then after a while, when you know it isn't hurting, you're going to put another Tiger Balm pad after you've done with it lower down, so that you're going to learn how to understand that oftentimes where it's actually hurting is where the knot is at, and that's where the tinging point is, but the spasm is actually coming from much lower.
Yeah, I sort of sense that, or I know that from, because it's especially near the spine, which is like the super highway for the nervous system. It's like, the third vertebrate is hitting something, but your left butt cheek's screaming.
And if you want to get really advanced, let's say your back's hurting one day and you've got somebody that can help you. What you can do is cut a Tiger Balm pad in half the vertical way, so it's thin but long, and line from the bottom of your tailbone to the top of your back of the neck, like 3 pads, which will make 6 pieces. So your entire spinal column, with the actual spinal column protrusion part, has those 6 pieces of pads on it. And what that will do is actually the amount of fluid that's going to be flushed out of that area will give you a very deep form of relaxation.
Okay, yeah, because like through most of the 90s, I smoked weed for that, and that didn't work out well.
It did. It just covered it up.
Well, yes, yeah. That was like, it was basically a form of abuse, because if you're smoking a gram a day, that's not really helping you.
Oh yeah, not at all. Not at all.
No, it's I need a bong to feel normal. Well, that's telling.
Yes. So something else that you can do, change your shoes.
Well, actually, yes. I do need. I've got an old pair which are just falling apart. I bought a new pair, but they didn't have the support on the ankles, and so it's just fabric instead of actually having the support of it. And because my feet are special, my ankle just slides straight off of it, and I only wore them twice. And the second time they fell off. So I need to upgrade my footwear.
Are you a person that uses loose shoelaces? You just slide your shoe on and walk. You leave the
yes, not on one pair, the ones that are dying. Yes, because it's stretchy, but they're tight. If that makes sense. But the other ones,
but that's actually what's creating part of your back pain, plus your chair, the way you sit.
Okay.
And there's probably other aspects to it, but whenever you're sitting in the same position, especially when a chair, the padding loses its strength and your one butt cheek's lower than the other, it really plays havoc on the body after a while.
Okay. I guess I need to save up and buy a good chair compared to just like the average price chair, because I think it's about 150 Australian, which is probably about $8 American.
You can probably find that on a Craigslist, a used chair for cheap.
But better quality, where it's just
it's not about quality, it's about padding. It's how your ass actually fits in it.
Okay, yeah, that's
literally it. As long as the padding isn't dead, like on one side.
Yes. Just the image of Homer sitting on the couch, where if you flipped over the cushion, it's like, now I have to get my ass print back.
Exactly. When you look at your chair, does it look like that?
Sort of. I guess
the answer, if it's sort of, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Okay. There's Robert's got the great picture right there.
Yeah. I try and keep it sort of. Part of my evolution was to try and keep the shoulders back and stand more upright, thinking that having the spine in its natural state is more in a line. with everything, and keep losing weight as well. So there's that change that's happening. I don't know if it's affected, but in my mind, there's like there'll be an effect, but it's probably not the cause.
It's one of the many things that's creating it.
Yeah, because the spine's like, well, hang on, because I do feel like I walk into the kitchen and I feel like 18 feet tall. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Compared to being,
you got some other choice too. Have you ever heard of posture correctors? Where you wear
yes.
you wear these two straps over they go over your arms and hold your shoulder, your back in and your clavicles out, and they're about $12. They're great. They're annoying as fuck, but they're great at helping you. Okay.
I just wanted to acknowledge Colleen in the chat as everyone adjusts their posture. Yeah, I just imagine 100 people or more, so like sitting up and the shoulders are back. Oh, that feels nice.
Yep. Robert's got a great example there. Then there are other ones that are more effective for people of different body shapes.
Okay, cool.
And if you're a boomer and you've got the hump on your back, you want one of these.
Oh, so you don't turn into a question mark.
Yes, not to you. I'm saying to all the boomers that are out there with the hump on their back.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, that's sort of with the health stuff that my parents have gone through. I'm like, okay, that's been like a wake up call. It's like I don't want to go through that, so I've been trying to improve my health.
Yep. So, how is your mental political health doing?
Oh, it's just funny. I'm in Victoria, where I find it interesting, where the chaos is like brace yourself, a new normal. It's not the new normal, but the chaos in the political circles is like, Chaz was cleaned out in an hour, and it's funny seeing Australians complain about Trump. It's like, well, you can't do anything about it, so shut up. Yeah, Americans, yes, you can vote. That makes sense. I can understand, like, we should do things, but the rest of the planet is like you protesting and yelling at him is like it's a waste of energy, really.
Yeah, he doesn't listen. He doesn't hear you.
Yeah, I know.
Unless you're chanting "Go Trump, go Trump," he doesn't hear you.
Exactly. And I found it interesting. I think I was watching Dave Rubin interview where he saw Trump do a speech somewhere, and he's at the level he's trolling the left. Yeah. Even if Trump's not aware of it, but he would say something, and then he would say that will be a soundbite, and less than 12 hours later, like the president said this. Yeah,
exactly.
And so he's with his ego and everything else. Like he's just playing the media, and which they can't handle that. So also with I can't remember her first name, starts with G, but Epstein's assistant, Miss Maxwell. Did you see that?
She got charged. She got charged, and yes, I saw that.
Yeah, 7 seconds later, the memes hit the internet. Even I posted, Galactic Maxwell didn't kill herself, just getting in before the curve. So it's that's sort of that for me. That helps with the world's it's all new world order and the world's ending.
Listen, she's not going to kill herself. Her car's going to go off the edge of a road and she's going to die.
Oh yeah, I shared a meme of it's two photos. And it's like, "Hello, suicide hotline. How may I help you?" And it's Hillary Clinton's like, "Yes, I'd like to place an order, please."
Yep.
So yeah, all that memes, and it's fascinating to see the clapback or the resistance, where, because you're familiar with my roundtables, I try and I allow people to do their doomer rhetoric, but then I as I try and introduce it, it's like, yeah, let's have a hit of Hopian and watch fear porn, so you get the balance. With it, you can see humanity there. It's not like all doom and gloom where it's all over. It's like, well, it's not, because you can see humanity reacting. The example I give is the bombing in Manchester was a pop concert. Instead of false flag or whatever, and it's they're trying to flush out the fear, and yet people were running in to help other people. So the turnaround, it's not like 9/11, that spell's broken, if that makes sense. And so now it's when something happens, there's an instantaneous like, well, no, I'm not going to. I do not consent, and they do the pushback.
Mm-hmm. So what?
And I also have a fascination of saying I do a mini monologue, and people go, and it's great for conversation.
It is. What I wanted to add to that is, what do you predict is going to happen in the next 2 weeks of news sound bites? And you don't need to be psychic to do this.
Oh. Well, because Maxwell's been arrested, you've got all that the Jeffrey Epstein that will be dredged
that
up.
will only be in conspiracy land, which will most of it will be censored on the main things.
Well, I'm from conspiracy world. Don't go there. I'll just tell you about it. But in the mainstream, well, it looks like, I don't know if it is or not, but it looks like the second wave of the coronavirus, because here in Victoria they're freaked out.
Yep.
And so,
Australia is still allowed to travel to Europe. Europe banned Americans to traveling to Europe, but Australians can still travel to Europe.
Well, will the campaigning rhetoric amp up? Because Biden's hiding in his basement and wondering where he is, and
they got Biden.
Okay. Well,
they got Biden on speed now. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he wonder what he just doesn't know what that ringing is.
Exactly.
Well, you got the 4th of July, and so who knows if there's false flags or just idiots.
Idiots with fireworks.
Yeah. Or yeah. In Portland, I don't know if it was Maine or Washington. One of them, but they the protesters sure they burnt a statue of an elk because apparently elks are racist now. That's the stupidity level, right?
Well, it is. That is really stupid.
Exactly. It's got horns. Clearly, it's male.
So I'm gonna put a little mainstream news thing clip to come forward. And are you familiar with the book that's coming out about Trump's sister-in-law?
No.
Basically Trump had a sister or a brother that wasn't approved by his father that married this woman, and she's writing a tell-all book about Trump himself, and Trump got a court order to suspend the book's release, but the corporation that's putting the book out is going to put it out anyways.
So, that sounds like the Streisand effect.
Yes, but this is going to have long-reaching effects into the actual campaign itself, and how we'll just say the mainstream news is going to start framing Trump. Because every time they've tried to frame him in a negative light, he's figured out how to capture it and turn it different and turn it different and turn it different. Only now on the mask issue have they cornered him into a scenario where he can't get out.
Yeah.
And it's not about dirt. It's about the way he responds to any situation.
They finally found out his pattern.
Exactly. It's his pattern.
It's only taken them 4 years.
Yeah, it only took them 4 fucking years, and all of them have fucking college degrees and shit.
Yeah. I got a piece of paper. I'm smart, clearly. Yeah. So, well, I'd say that's the thing. Like, it's interesting when people like from on my radar where people, I don't like Trump, and look, he's a moron. Well, what about Biden? And then their response is, don't even get me started on Biden. Like, well, you just pointed out the system's very corrupt. Because
first thing first, at least Biden is educated and reads. It doesn't matter his cognitive ability. At least he's educated and reads.
Yeah.
This is the first president in history who doesn't read, that everything has to be told to him and he doesn't listen to half of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's one way of he can be manipulated.
Right. They can easily be manipulated. Okay. But I'm not defending Trump, and I'm not defending Biden. We're in a situation where we for the last 5 elections, we've been told to choose the lesser of 2 evils.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a dementia looking Biden? Yes, we do. Mm-hmm. Do we have somebody that's yellow orange man bad? Yes, we do. Mm-hmm. Which evil are we going to choose? What evil's going to be chosen? You don't have any other choices, do you?
Well, the first caller of the show, he sounded awesome.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the point where I don't know if it's the just the prime creator going, this is going to be cool, but the system's corrupt, and you've got a choice of Orange Man bad or Where Am I? And
honestly, I'd rather have Where Am I?
Oh, okay.
Why? At least we can know where we're going. His choices are still a direction, right?
Well, yeah, he may not know where we're going, but everyone else may.
He'll listen to his advisors.
Yeah, and I like Robin Williams' idea of like you putting dog collars on creepy pedophiles, and so if he gets close to a child, bzz, bzz.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a meme going around of like, okay, if we've got the COVID app that we can track everybody, why don't we have it on all the pedophiles? So, yeah, I honestly, apart from the 4th of July, we sort of have to get past that because that's round about the eclipse. And I know
It's Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, and just go on the basic level of the magnetic field amps up because of something, but that's where Lunatic comes from. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how people react because of we're only halfway through the year. Like, I'm a Time Lord and I'm tired. Like, really, 6 months. Oh, we're at halftime change sides.
and for the record, I have stated for a very long time, Trump will win this election if the Democrats can't figure out who to actually run as Biden's vice president, and it be as truly significant. If it's Pocahontas or any liberal, they've lost.
Yeah, to add to that, I basically point out like when Trump won, and I knew on a soul level he was. It wasn't that Trump won; it was more that Hillary lost. So it was like, oh, good. You think that you would try and find a leader and put policies and try and connect with the voting populace. But all they've done for 4 years is like, Orange Man bad. I'm like, oh.
Well, in American politics, we have seen before where one person chooses the opposing party as their running mate, which could potentially happen here. Which you could have somebody like Biden, Mitt Romney as a ticket.
Okay, yeah.
That'll win the religious vote.
Now that's mainly because from a political idea is to show unity where you can have both, and so it's not all one party,
and it gives the Republicans an out on the Trump era.
Yeah, but I can see Trump winning. However, unless there's chicanery, like I think we've had a chat off air where whatever happens, it's supposed to happen. So
right, and then as I said, there'll be a president after that, and a president after that, and a president. As I'm going to restate again, Trump wins any election if there's not a African American general running next to Biden, or somebody like Mitt Romney, or somebody at that high stature level that crosses political lines, that allows the Republicans who don't like Trump a way out of a vote.
Well, yeah, that sounds like a good political strategy. If you want to get the Trump voters, none of the Democrats, the ones that have made it through, I don't know if they would have been good, but Tulsi Gabbard seemed to be kind of sane compared to everyone else, and Marianne Williamson as well. Now, I'm not saying they should lead, but I think those two would have had more of a chance than Biden. But I'm just an outsider looking in. I'm
not being sexist. If Biden chooses a woman, he's lost.
Okay, it's
still about reclaiming the White House and all of the other things. Whoever is vice president runs the Senate.
Yes.
Very important. No, the vice president is not just a ceremonial role. They run the Senate. They're the deciding vote on ties.
Yeah, so they're a second in charge in the mechanism. I learned most of my American politicalisms from the West Wing, so bear with me. But the vice president in the show, it was like, oh, it's just ceremonial. They never pointed out that he controls the Senate, which is
right. He's the one that determines all of the main rules in the Senate.
Yeah, in the Westminster system, that's the upper house. And so Congress is the representatives, and then whatever's created then goes up to be said yes or no. But with your presidency, once the Senate says we want this, then it gets sent to the president to sign it off. I think that's how it works.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's a few other little things there, but it doesn't really matter at this time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I like the idea of
Trump wins every time if whoever the vice presidential person doesn't cross political lines, isn't an actual general in an actual active duty general or army person.
What do you sense with the whole Black Lives Matter, Antifa, terrorist nut jobs? Not saying people's. You
mean the agent provocateurs?
Yes, thank you. That's a better way of saying it, because protesting racism is a good thing. There was a woman that worked in Harvard said, like, if you say all lives matter, I will stab you and let you bleed out. And then the next day she got fired. I'm like, a story in 2 parts. And it's like, oh, it's Trump and, it's, white supremacy. It's like, no, you threaten people with death. it's
Thus, why who is being picked as the vice president will be the one that helps heal the nation. Biden won't heal the nation as president. The vice president will go to schools and communities and do all those things in speeches. That's why it's got to be somebody that has the highest level of respect from the many different communities.
Will Trump still have Pence?
Well, he's got Pence already. It's Trump Pence 2020. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Even though he hasn't given any new, like every time you run for a second election, you have new ideas you're running on. Trump hasn't put any of that forward yet.
Yeah, I guess it's when does the campaign officially kick off?
It kicked off 18 months ago, technically.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing about because the elections are locked in. It's usually 18 to 24 months long. Here in Australia, the Prime Minister tomorrow could say, "All right, having an election, and it's in 3 weeks," and they can do it that way. But I think they're changing it so it's periodically the same, but it's instead of like the president gets voted in, you got 2 years of trying to do something, then the next 2 years is campaigning, and then once
that's the broken politics. So Karen Boda put something in here. If Biden wins, deep state evil wins. Yikes. No, the deep state is on both sides equally. Period. The deep state wins no matter who is elected. Okay? Trump is not the savior, nor is Biden the savior. You're your own savior.
Yeah. And that, for me, that sort of eventually you sort of need leaders, but I guess leading towards the Native American Tribal Council, where you can't be all leaders, or maybe that's a spiritual thing. But I think just for the 3D mind, it's like, well, we can't be all free because that will be a form of anarchy, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does, but we're in a situation where our politics has reached such an industrial level of corruption. It doesn't matter who is in office, period. The corruption continues until such a time there are anti-corruption probes, people running on anti-corruption, so on and so forth, and that's their sole platform. We are in a unique human time where this COVID stuff and all the vaccines, it's all garbage to keep you suppressed still. Whether it's real or not doesn't actually matter. Like when I was talking to the first caller, it's what laws they do. How many tickets if you're not wearing a mask? In New York City, it's a $500 ticket. How many tickets are you going to before you got to wear a mask?
Yeah, here in Australia, because of I think there's more testings, and they don't mention how sick people get. They just get the virus, and that's the narrative. Oh, we have a virus, we have to clamp down. New South Wales, which is the state above Victoria, just on the planet, not like hierarchy or anything. If they find people from Victoria from those hotspots, they can be imprisoned up to 6 months and have an $11,000 fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so, is it about health, or is it about revenue raising and everything else? That's the fun part about being part of the conspiracy world and seeing people on Facebook where it's like, oh, this is happening. And my instant thought is, so you're pointing out a corrupt system is corrupt. Well done. Like, you're almost there.
Exactly. Thus, why disconnection from that political spectrum and the toxic swamp that is will be more beneficial in the long run. Does anybody's American vote count? No, because there's an electoral college. Period.
That's all. Yeah. What was that thought? It was there and it's gone again. I've said it a couple of times.
So it doesn't matter if Trump wins or Biden wins. It actually means nothing. Government will continue.
Yes.
Government is going to continue. But
yeah.
I will say this, if Trump doesn't win, there will be a whole lot of attempt to make everybody happy while the corruption goes on.
Well, now here's a thought. Australia, the Prime Minister, I think a couple of days ago, has announced they're spending $270 billion on upgrading defense. And it's for a post-COVID world or something like that. And it's basically arming for war. And with the Chinese, like, do the people behind the political curtain, do they know something or are they planning something? Is that part of a big shift, or it's not a stock answer, but are you just going to answer with like, it's going to basically be the same for 18 months, which is kind of annoying because we seem to be treading water in a way.
The answer is yes, it's going to be the same for 18 months. No matter who wins the office, there will still be no solve for COVID, period. Okay?
Yep.
Okay? No solve for COVID. There'll be no solve for the political situations or the economic situations that everyone in is worldwide. COVID's just not going to disappear. It's going to be stuck around. It's stuck in modern mainstream media for a long time. You know, as for people asking me, Melissa, I'd love to hear Andrew explain about how the best thing to do is face the crazy corruption, etc. Do nothing, wear the mask, and go with the flow. Just shit. No, that is you an extreme reaction. If I'm saying, do you want to pay for tickets in your area? Then wear a mask. If you don't, pay the ticket. What's in law is what affects you. And how you choose to allow those politics and political scenarios and policy makings that truly have nothing to do with your daily life. That's the journey, is understanding what it actually does to your daily life. And you can learn to extricate it from your daily life and continue a journey that can be very beneficial during your daily life process while the corruption is trying to figure itself out.
Yes. Yeah. It's, I only leave the house really, started to do more walks, but just to buy food. That's the only time I'm around general public because, you know, being a hermit, it's like, why is everyone inside now?
Okay. Example, I don't wear a mask all the time, but I respectfully wear a mask when I go in, and oftentimes I take the mask off when I'm inside if I see nobody else wearing it. Why? Because I don't like wearing masks, but I still have the respect for the other people.
Yeah. Also, even like the virus, there is a virus and it's been blown out of proportion. I always counter that when people say that. It's like, yeah, but you still don't want 80% of society sick. Because it depends on how everyone's immune system kicks in. Even if you just get like the seasonal flu, right, and you've been whacked for a 6. That's a cricketing reference. For 2 weeks, where you have to stay in bed and just try and ride it out. You don't want everyone doing it at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So we're at a point where disconnecting from the politics is the greatest journey you can have.
Yeah, it's not picking your side.
If you're going to vote. Pick yourself as your own side. You don't have to pick Democrat or Republican. Pick you.
Yeah, it's mandatory to vote here in Australia, and they found me, so I'm registered again. But then my mum told me of how to do an informal vote, where it's just a straight line across the thing, and then where it can't be used for anything else. And so I think it used to be just do it on a Saturday. That's how Australia. You can't do it during the week. That's a work day, so we'll do it on a Saturday on your day off to vote. And but you can do it beforehand, and just a straight line of it's, if you remember the Richard Pryor movie, Brewster's Millions.
Yep, good movie.
He had, none of the above. That's basically what I'm going with, because we've got conservatives in. I think that's the word you use. But there's no opposition. It's similar to Trump and the Democrats, where like if someone actually went into political science and cared enough, you could rip Trump apart. But all you've got is like, yeah, Orange Man bad for 4 years. I was like, really?
Mm-hmm. Because the news media didn't allow itself to be real news.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And until such a time the news media begins to break down, the controls on politics break down, what are you going to get? The same serving.
Now, what is humanity going to do over the next 6 months? Because a major turning point on the calendar is the election in November. Is it just going to simmer away, and there'll be spot fires like the riots that you've had, protesting and everything else like that? Because I think humanity. Well, you've met a couple of humans, and you know what they're like. Where I'm very upset now, but I won't do anything for 30 to 40 years till I say I'm. The best way to explain it is the drummer from Pink Floyd said when the band nearly broke up, we're on tour and it got that bad we nearly said something. Mm-hmm. It's very English, but is that sort of what's humanity? It's because we're not seeing.
No. Humanity isn't ready to stand up and say that. It's got all these other divisive things that it wants to say first.
Yep.
So here, I'll give you my couple month outlook here. The Bolton book, the Trump sister-in-law book, and a variety of other books that are going to come out are going to drive the media narrative against Trump because their current narrative isn't working. And they're at a point where, let's say it's July, August, September, October, November, 5 months until the election.
Oh,
and if they don't change enough people's minds, it will be so skewed on the vote that it'll have the appearance of being fully rigged. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And will it backfire? More than likely, yes.
Yeah.
Unless who runs with Biden is a political game change shocker.
Yeah. So it won't be Hillary.
No.
Thank the living gods for that. Do you see mail-in, or because people have put forward theories that the only way the Democrats could probably win is if they falsify all the votes, and or will something new come out of it where there'll be social distancing at
no matter what, there will be questions about the rigged elections. Thus, why Trump started that message 6 months ago.
Yeah. Okay.
That will be a major news. There will be states that only do mail-in voting, like Texas, with the amount of COVID cases that are coming on. Whether they're real or not doesn't matter. That's what's put into law is what matters. Yeah. They will probably do mail-in voting, which a number of the states in the South will do mail-in voting. That will determine what representatives are going to vote in what? The Electoral College. And because mail-in voting will not have the same way to be read as the votings and the day of the thing, you won't be able the big news agencies won't be able to predict who won. That's the real reason Trump doesn't want mail-in voting. It eliminates all of the polling details.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, at the end of the day, it'll be the Electoral College, which I like. In theory, it makes sense where you don't want New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles to choose the president. The idea is to spread it out across the whole country. But I'm sure they've figured out a way of manipulating that. So basically what you're saying is we're going to have more of the same, but probably cranked up about 3%. And
300%.
Oh, okay. Well, that just reinforces this whole thing of disconnecting and just being yourself and in your own dream bubble.
In that 300%, there will be a new style.
Ooh.
Okay? It's like switching season 1 to season 2, and they give you a whole new look on a TV show you like.
Yeah, it reminds me of from The Simpsons, Malibu Stacy, which is their Barbie. But this one's got a hat.
Yes.
That's basically what we've got.
Okay.
So
And
more of
then
the same, but with a hat.
the next thing I want to say is we have some very serious stuff going on in all the other Middle Eastern countries. Okay. COVID and the lockdown there has stopped money laundering.
Ooh.
Okay. And also the major drug traffickers has stopped money laundering. So there's going to be a major reattempt at restarting the money laundering. And this is why many of the European countries are reopening too fast, as well as many of the South American states are reopening too fast, because it's still about cleaning the dirty money. And tourism is the biggest industry to clean dirty money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we're gonna get some shockers coming out of the Asian states. You know, there's still a whole lot of going on in the Japanese banking system that nobody wants to talk about. The other day, I just put up an article on my Facebook page that they just caught a Chinese company that had 83 tons of fake gold. That had like $7.9 billion of loans on fake 83 tons of fake gold. That's like 7% of China's total gold reserve.
That's the other sort of daunting task. If you step back from the whole planet, and it's so full of corruption and error. You know, I can see where you burn it down and start again, but that's not going to work. And so, yeah, the change. I can't see how we get from awesome, total freedom, happiness, fly away to the moon because we want to on a Saturday from here. We're here to see it and see the change, but it's maybe it's just my mind trying to grapple how daunting it is in a certain aspect of like governments need to be cleaned out. There's laws, hidden technology, truth in history, so on and so on and so on.
So back in 2014, when the LIBOR scandal was really big, and that was about the British companies fixing the gold prices, there was a prosecutor that came out and said, I've discovered tons of fake gold, like 30 tons in fake gold, all right, in Europe alone, which they had tungsten cores, and they like a bar of tungsten surrounded by like a really small amount of gold.
Yeah.
And that this guy said as much as 30% of the world's population is fake gold. And he was dead a week later.
I wonder if there's a connection.
There absolutely is a connection. And now that this Chinese story has come out, none of the major reportings and agencies and rating agencies and insurance agencies have responded to this at all because they know it's fake gold. So all these things that tell you to buy gold, if it's not, it's once again a big scam going on.
Yeah.
Now, will that make news?
No.
No. If it does make news, you can assume a variety of other major fallouts, which there right now, in what I see, there's a potential that they're going to drop the stock market worldwide down to 13,000 just before the election.
Is that because
which is that's a 7,000 point drop from where we're at right now.
Is that part of trying to make Trump look bad, or is it
no?
just,
That has nothing to do with Trump at all.
Okay, yep, continue.
This has to do with the globalists exerting power of control.
Yes.
Who's in office makes no difference to the globalists, period.
Yes,
it's the judiciary and which are the judges, and it's the legislature. The executive branch has very little actuating power to affect the globalists.
They're a distraction.
No, they're a tool.
Yeah. That's a better way to say it. Yeah,
they're just a tool.
Yeah. Trump bad. What about the Federal Reserve? No, we're going back to Trump. He's bad.
Okay. The Federal Reserve is completely controlled by the globalists, and nobody wants to talk about that with Trump.
No.
Okay.
It's like, I like when politicians, we're having economic reform. Unless you get rid of the central bank, shut up.
Okay.
I'm just going to ignore you.
If they do a global blowdown of the economy just before the election, let's say mid-August, they start losing a little here and a little there. And by September and the beginning of October, you're beginning to see like a 4,000 point downward rally with no other thing. China is going to have to make major reporting changes in its reporting changes, or the American agencies are going to start delisting Chinese corporations on the NASDAQ.
Okay, because the House
Which is which is the globalist major play. They want to get as many delisted Chinese companies as possible. So whoever takes office again will have that as a hammering tool to all of Asia, including the Japanese and the Koreans.
Now, is China rogue from the globalists, or are they set up for a patsy, or how do they fit on the chessboard?
So they run all of the equity markets. Okay. So they're still a major player. The thing is, this is political theater.
Yeah.
This is political theater. Now, India is still going to become a unique player. That's why we're beginning to see India and China battle in those northern countries. Why? Yep. Because the amount of resources that are in those northern countries is through the roof. Just like the largest lithium deposits in Mexico. But you've got to pay off the cartels to get into there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, those wacky cartels.
Right. So if the globalists make the downturn, and the executive branch has no potency or power, what we're left with is how the corporations react. Because it's the corporations that are going to need what? Revolving credit lines.
Yeah.
Okay. What do revolving credit lines do? Keep major corporations in business so they can have the monthly cash flow for paychecks. Okay.
Yeah. Well, if I may ask a side question here, I hate the term working class, but like, the average human, where how do they fit in? Are we going to see?
They don't.
Okay.
And they were never intended to.
So that we're just cattle to the globalists, and they don't care if they lose half the herd.
They're not going to lose the herd. What are you talking about? You're not going to lose the herd. So let me finish real quick. Once the revolving credit lines are set, because the Fed is buying everything right now, the United States Fed will be 10% owner in many foreign countries or face delisting, which is a nationalization on a global level of foreign companies being owned by the American Fed.
Ooh. So consolidating control.
Well, it's basically you're nationalizing the world economy, which is what the globalists want.
Yeah.
But do they have the political power in the legislature and the executive of the three branches? Right now, they don't. They don't have it. Okay. There is where we'll begin to see the National Security Council on Foreign Relations, which Trump kicked out of his entire presidency, reassert their power. And we'll see all of the Middle East issues pop up again during a COVID shutdown. And that's them bringing us back to the stories of repetition. Will America not accept the story? Ultimately is what's going to happen. November 3rd is the election. January 17th, the new president officially takes over. No matter who wins, by November 25th to December 11th is where you'll begin to see the globalists play.
Yeah, that would make sense, because the character, either Trump being reinstated or, for argument, Biden gets in. Once the character's on the stage, they could do a new chapter in the narrative.
Exactly. And Trump has already set up the narrative that I may not go. Okay. Which gives the globalists what? All the room to do what they want behind the scenes, as Trump is saying he's not going to go. When in fact, the globalists are going to say, go or we're going to kill you, Trump.
Yeah.
Go or we're going to blow up Trump Tower.
Yeah.
There's plenty of ways to get Trump out of office from the globalist level.
Yeah, well, even his health isn't the best, the way he stands. And...
he might suddenly get polonium poisoning.
Yeah. So okay,
Vladimir Putin shoots him live on stage.
yeah, and yeah, he'll still be a Russian asset. Figure that one out.
Exactly.
Since we started out in comedy and we've gone to this lovely place, what positive view can you see in the global narrative? Because the global narrative is the curtain in the Wizard of Oz being pulled back? Are people? Is it part of the awakening? I find it interesting where, like, following you and talking to you, it's like awakening. I don't realize him in a bed, but you've got people from the 3D waking up just to the corruption of the system. And there's so much more. And it's not a judgment call, it's an observation of like,
Right.
oh, you think you're awake now.
Yeah, exactly. You think you're awake now? Wait another year.
Yeah, exactly. You've got 72 different bodies in one. You're a multi-dimensional being. Figure that one out. But from a positive aspect, what can you see sort of, or what could happen as a potential?
People making choices for themselves, choosing their own side before a political party, choosing themselves, self-healing, self-nurturing, self-mastery, down the journey of awareness and letting go of politics, which will be the greatest benefit of all humanity when we begin to not allow politics and the global narrative drive who we are and what we are. So that independent movements can organically be created out of a common moral code.
What's a better way? I've been using a sentence for a while, like a decade. But what's a better way of saying it is, you can hide in the system. It's not hide, or we live in this. You can like wearing the mask so you don't get fined. It's that aspect. What's a better way of saying that? Because I think that's the starting point, and there'll be a turnaround. It's like, well, me and the chaps have had a meeting, and we don't like what you're doing, type thing.
Right. As for telling the other person run for office, 2 people on the show.
Yeah.
I think a lot of millennials should seriously think about it, even if they do it as a complete joke. Imagine if you got elected off of a complete joke.
Didn't Jesse Jackson do that, or was that just an Eddie Murphy bit?
No, it's an Eddie Murphy bit.
Okay. Just checking.
It actually happens a lot in regular politics, where some kid runs for county commissioner or something like that and wins.
Well, Jello Biafra ran for the mayor of San Francisco and came third.
Okay.
He meant to do that though. He didn't want to do that.
Kids have a better chance. Kids have a better chance of making a viral sensation out of themselves, even if they don't win.
Yeah, because it's they've got that connectivity. As you get older, it's like people like for me, I'm not going outside. It's all people-y. But you've got those friends networks, and you're just out of high school and all that type of thing. I mean, there's been incidences where people have died and been elected, and it's just been name recognition. Where it's like, you're a Jefferson or a Washington. Well, you could run for office? And it's like, well, what's your platform? My name's Jefferson or Washington.
Okay. Santos saying eventually they get chewed up and spit out. No, that's not true. The millennials are a completely different type of person. They're not your average boomer.
Well, yeah, I mean, we get called boomers because young kids are morons. Our parents are technically baby boomers. That's where the term comes from. Mm-hmm. And it's, I'm like with Joyce. We're Gen X, groovy. Yeah. What's the just quickly? The boomer, they just came out. They've got parents from World War II, so there's an element of
they're born after World War II. Before World War II is the lost generation. Like my mom and dad come from the lost generation, the forgotten generation. Yeah,
because the boomers, there's an element of change because of the generation that lived World War II were in trauma. Like the whole planet was in trauma. Obviously, because of 6 years old.
Thus why so many Karens and Kens are the way they are.
Yeah. And now you've got Gen X, which is, we've got that slacker mentality, or that it's a stereotype. And so I find it fascinating because now Gen Z or Z or whatever, it's, I don't know, maybe someone's just making up all these demographics so there'll be divide and conquer.
Yes.
But it's, yeah.
But once again, the millennials have a better opportunity of actually changing politics than any other groups that are out there.
Yeah, because they're in their prime. Because in the mainstream, your life exists between 20 and 40, allegedly.
Right. And most people can get elected at a state Congress or a congressional level at 25. Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine if a bunch of 25-year-old millennials took over Congress.
Ooh. I sort of did then and freaked out, but probably tarring the brush with everybody, because it's not all the generation is across the board, where there's a lot of smart people who can see the shit straight away, and they're I remember when I was working in a bakery and I was customer service, and an 8-year-old had better manners than me, and I just like, wow, like you sir are going to go far. And it depends on their experiences and everything else like that. So, but with across the board in the generation, they've grown up with the internet, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
So
and they know how to use it far better than any of the boomer politicals out there.
Yeah. Yep, I have to show my mum sometimes how to use a Blu-ray player. It's like it's just the same as a video player, but you've got, you can move the cursor around the screen. And once she's shown it, she remembers it, so that's all right. And the millennials have like Snapchat, and I think Parler tried to take away from Twitter, but then it's interesting where new ideas have been popped up, and I think it's the integrity of these things where if they're popular or not, because a lot of, I think, our generation are on Facebook mainly because it's a friend network of like, oh, there's someone from school. You never see them, but you're connected somehow through the internet. And which we didn't have in the 90s. You just like, whatever happened to Dave? I have no idea. But now you can click on him and go through all his photos and go, haha.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Monty, we're near the end of the show. You want to give a way for people to get a hold of you?
Wafer Thin Entertainment on YouTube. I've actually added a donate button, and at the moment for my American friends, it's 69 cents to an Australian dollar. So, just throw me 70 cents and I can buy food. I'm also on Facebook as Monty Dean, and on Twitter at Real Monty Dean. And if you like a bit of memes, and Robert still is the fastest memer in the West, you would have seen in this show, it's monty.dean on Instagram.
And we will be back tomorrow for our annual Every Other Friday comedy show.
Well, yeah, after this last 6 months, I would say it's an annual show, yeah.
Yes.
It's been 2 weeks. It feels like a rotation.
So for everybody that's new, Monty and I, every other Friday, we do a comedy show where we intend to offend. So if you are a person with a stick up your ass and want to know your purpose, this is not the show for you tomorrow. We intend to offend. We are going to look at every aspect of politics, spirituality, and make fun and jokes out of it. And yes, if you're sensitive, maybe you want to try listening and letting some of your sensitivity go. It will be on this same channel, the same way you logged in to listen to this show. It will be on all of our different social media sites live, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Tune on in and don't forget to hit like and share. And we will see you all for tomorrow's Friday Comedy Night Show. Take us away, Robert.
Each different bubble of reality is true. A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma. Nudge, nudge, it's the Holy Grail. Improvise. Mysterious. It's counter psychic intelligence.
Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important?
Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.